degenerately addicted to Baldur's Gate. It's a compulsion at this point.
Yeah, definitely have a lot of builds in my head.
All right, we're getting into the draft here for game number 3. The Renekton going to be banned out, so that is a change coming into this potentially final game. We'll see what Licorice wants to go to. The Jax has been ignored through picks and bans.
The Sign game has been strong. LCS
Sign game has been really good this split.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great ones. Bro, what are you doing here? So this is a change up from the previous time. They swapped the Tristana ban for the Kaisa. So I guess even though they dealt fine with the Tristana, they found it annoying enough. I think maybe Gori was like, screw this matchup. It didn't feel as good for him as he thought it might. Yeah. So they dropped that. That does let the Kaisa go through. They're still going to pick, it looks like, the same kind of composition overall of the Maokai, Jayce, and most likely an Ezreal, again, if they can get it.
I'm actually kind of more of a fan, I would say, of the Tristana ban than the Kaisa. I will say this because a lot of times when Tristana is not paired with Kaisa, people can't find good AD pairings, and then she's forced into going an AD Kaisa build. And I think AD Kaisa is actually not overpowered. I don't think it's even that good. I think AP Kaisa, that build is way better, personally. So, you know, if you're taking away the Jayce, if you're banning out the Tristana, their options become limited. So now already, with the Azir locked in, I already feel like we're probably just going to get an AD Kaisa.
I like all these adaptations here. Tomo is the better Kaisa anyways. He has an incredible poke Kaisa, like you're saying, though. This does get into some damage-type problems, potentially. But, again, kind of what we were saying before about, like, well, who's going to stack armor previously? Now the question is who's going to stack MR? Because if you're going this full poke build and we see, again, River opt into it, it's a little question of, like, well, who's actually stacking the MR?
Well, here's the thing. I think it's actually way easier to splash MR into your build than it is to actually splash armor.
Banshee's Veil or something.
Banshee's Veil, but you can also go double Hex Drinker here. Like, you can do things like that. If they go full MR, I think it actually is problematic. Merc Treads become crazy valuable against a team like that. Hex Drinkers become crazy valuable. It's way easier than shoving in, like, you know, Death Dance or whatever to try to get a little bit of armor. So I do think it's more problematic. Dignitas could go for an AD pick. That's why I think Golden Guardians is banning out the Aatrox, the Jax. They're trying to take away physical damage options from the top lane.
That's exactly where I was going to go with how this draft is different from game 2, which was all top side and bot lane was unpicked. Yeah. Here it is mirrored yet again, but it is the top lane not picked because I like the idea of grabbing the Ezreal. I think that absolutely would have been banned down instead of the Aphelios. It should have been last time. This time it would have happened. So they grabbed that earlier and they let top lane go through.
And I want Golden Guardians to actually pick support here on 4 and save counterpick for top. Okay, they're going to do this anyway. I guess my reasoning is that all of the really good pure physical damage top laners that are remaining are only really counterpick options.
I was about to say Fiora's going to get picked. They're going to go 4-1 here.
But this is the thing. You can't pick Fiora blind, which is why I don't think that they actually should have done this, right? Because when I think about the physical damage options from Rich, Quinn, Alawi, Fiora, you're not blinding those picks. So that's why I wanted Golden Guardians to actually hold their pick for 5. It would have just been a blind Ksante for Dignitas, which would actually not be enough physical damage. It would force Rich to actually play AD Kaisa. With a Fiora, maybe he actually does play AP. I'm not sure. But I do think you're not getting that much of an edge with support counterpick here on 5. I feel like compositionally, it would have been better to actually delay their top lane pick.
It does make it a much easier game for Dignitas to have a split push win con splash in, like you're saying, because you've been given counterpick. Than if both teams had matching compositions where you both kind of have tankier, bruisery front lines like they had, but now you have the Jayce Ezreal on your side and you're doing standoffs. So for Dignitas, it's still obviously a big story for them if they can even beat Golden Guardians, but I like having the ball kind of in Rich's hands here. The LPL top lane, we're memeing it at the top. You know, Licorice watches LPL. Rich played in the LPL.
I mean, he was on All-Pro.
He was very good. So, you know, you're playing one of these, you know, quote unquote Chinese TikTok Fioras that you always hear about. And we'll see if Rich can actually go 1v9 this game.
Yeah, we'll find out. Will be a tough one. Licorice has been so good for Golden Guardians. This entire split back to spring season in playoffs was amazing at MSI, was amazing in the regular season, won first team All-Pro. Even in their series loss, I think he was really a standout. He was 1v9 in some of those games, so I think it is going to be a bit of a tough nut to crack there. I don't know if we're having some trade errors. Okay, this is coming down to the last wire, but they did get traded to those proper positions, so hopefully we don't have to have any sort of a remake.
Nope, looks like it's good in client, assuming that you do actually want Fiora top and those kinds of things.
Support Fiora.
Yeah, Pog. Very Pog. Riposte, very strong.
Definitely trying their best to get there. We'll see if Dignitas can mount some sort of a comeback here, or if it is going to be the clean sweep for Golden Guardians. The heavy favorites coming on into this one.
Oh, they tried the bum rush mid, didn't end up getting it down there. Gori, or excuse me, Jensen was standing far enough back.
I don't think you're going to make the bum rush happen. I know this is you're trying to coin something.
It doesn't need to catch on.
No, it's just
As long as the point of language is to communicate ideas, you knew what I meant.
I did, unfortunately. That's true. I will debate that perhaps people at home may not have known what
There
you
may be
meant.
better ways to communicate those ideas. I won't disagree, but if you understood what I meant, job done.
That's like reminds me of my dad, where he would make a horrible joke, and he's like, "Joke's not for you, it's for me. I thought it was funny."
Cope.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very cope. But yeah, I think Golden Guardians have to be feeling very, very good, getting basically the same composition in essence that they got in the previous game. Only adaptation is it's Ksante instead of Renekton, and it's Nautilus instead of Leona, but the comps function the same.
I will say, this is the first time we've had Jensen on what has been historically comfort for him, right? He played Xerath, new look. He played Tristana, which is honestly a new look for this split, for this year. He has never been the guy to actually play these AD mids. He has kind of brought it into his arsenal, this split, you know, really trying to kind of adapt to the meta. But control mages is how this guy made his money, is how he qualified for Worlds every single time. Orianna, Azir, Syndra, these types of champions.
And even the composition functions a little bit more normally. The previous one is this like beefy front line with double marksman. We've seen double marksman on and off, but here it's mostly engage and dive. If they even go AD Kaisa, a little bit better about that flying in, trying to auto people down. You have Fiora trying to flank. Sejuani, Rell can go in. Even Azir is very good follow-up if you're just hard engaging onto this poke-focused Golden Guardians team.
And I think it is going to be AP Kaisa because the Hail of Blades almost always will be. You know, sometimes you see people go AP Kaisa with lethal tempo, but very, very rare. You know, it is much more common to actually see the Hail of Blades here, so I'm expecting that to be AP. The hook in from Huhi, but they're going to try to turn around on them, and Ignite's getting exchanged. It will be Huhi disengaging. Worse for wear, takes the worst end of that trade, but now it's Santorin over towards mid lane. But Gori knows that he could be on that bottom side. He's going to play towards his ward on the top side, and I feel like as long as he doesn't actually move down, should be okay. But he's actually trying to proc the phase rush. He's too slow to do it. Potentially, Santorin could look to follow, but should be fine now that he has proc that phase rush running up towards where his jungler is. You can see Rich was thinking about maybe moving down, but not going to find an opportunity.
No, Rich with his prio had a nice little half roam down there if, you know, there's a bad path out of Gori, but you also have River finishing his clear on that top side, so nothing to look for there, but some nice trades in the early game out of Golden Guardians. Even just forcing Gori back there, he can grab his tier, which is fine, but, you know, it's not the most aggressive early buy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'd love to be able to actually be in a position to stay around, get us rated Turk, and really start to get more aggressive. We also have to note that because Santorin spent this time, it is a couple camps in the lead right now for River. He does a 6 camp clear. He's crossing back over to bot side, so we will grab the scuttle there as Fiora has pushed on top side. He can't contest the Sejuani for that one, but we'll be able to grab the one on the bot side and have a little bit better tempo. As Huhi out of pots, you know, has been taking quite heavy damage. River down on this bot side. Maybe he can make something happen as Rich is going to get Pathmaker back to the tower. You can't parry the tower shot, Rich. He flashes away, but only to die. Rich is gone. Licorice gets first blood.
Nice play by Licorice there, pulling him back under the turret. The second turret shot is what pushed it over the top. One, Rich would have been okay, but I guess didn't have his Q up to lunge back. It's have to see if he maybe had it on cooldown, if he didn't get a refund from a missed lunge, or if it was, yeah, nope, just used it right there and put himself in the range for that. And then the body block. God, Licorice is so annoying, just kind of stopping him from being able to walk out of turret, and that kind of temporary delay is what allowed the second turret shot to get off.
That was actually really well played by Licorice, and now we're going to watch Jensen die, tries to flash away, but the follow there for Gori will grab Golden Guardians another kill. It's a disaster already for Dignitas. Golden Guardians 4.5 in are dominating. As Rich honestly just got greedy. He tried to actually proc the Vital on the back end of Licorice over by the tower. And I was thinking, how did he get there? Did he actually fail to parry a Q3? No, he tried to actually go for the Vital on his back, and the instant Pathmaker response there from Licorice pushes him in the tower, and then you called it out. The body block was brilliant. Licorice playing that really, really well. You had counter pick, you got solo killed, and we've seen this before from Rich when he plays against Ksante. It was the same thing with his second Alawi game, was not respecting the ability of these Ksantes to actually push him back in a tower and punish him.
It's so surprising too, given that he is also an incredible Ksante that, you know, if you jump on them with their spells up, and I guess because it wasn't Q3, he thought that the pushback wouldn't have been enough. And to be fair to him, if that body block didn't happen, he might not have taken that second turret shot. So a bit of a miscalculation, though. It is something that can happen to him where the lane phase goes bad early and potentially risks getting snowballed on.
Absolutely. And I mean, we have seen some good trades for Dignitas on the bottom side. The jungler is around. We'll see if Poome can find the engage. Oh, Q flash is gonna miss, and the response there, flashing away from the crashdown, was Huhi. I'm not sure if the Rell Q flash bug has been fixed, because there is a bug where when you Q flash, sometimes it shoots it off in a weird direction.
Yeah.
I know that Diamond tweeted about this. Some pro players were talking about this. He provided clips where it has happened. So I don't know if that's a bug or a mistake. Either way, Huhi going back in, and he has no flash, is in trouble now. Tomo trying to get in range, but he's slowed up. They will get the kill, and Tomo's the one to grab him. And now Santorin is on the run as Stixxay stepping forward, hitting those mystic shots. It's 1-for-1, but this kill goes to Tomo. So signs of life there for Dignitas, getting the gold where they need it.
Huhi, thinking it might be a bug, gives one back for the 1-for-1. Homie stock given over, but I will say, River picked up the kill. That feels great, but he is not the super ridiculous damage build this time where he has green smite instead of the red smite. Still first strike, but not as focused on the damage, so maybe not going to go as hard scaling. I'm sure he will still go Demonic Embrace, but I doubt the Leandries is coming following up.
Yeah, he's got first strike, as you said. He's definitely going to go Demonic 100%. We already see the Giant Spell. We see the Amp Zone, so he's got to be that. And Rich, not again, Rich!
No.
Not again! Licorice is making a fool of Rich on the top side. Rich is having a laugh about it in the cams, but that, you cannot have it happen. This is your season on the line here. Let's see how it started again one more time.
Don't show me how it started, dude. The Q proc
Oh
W.
my God.
He waits out the riposte too by Licorice. Mind games him completely. Rich was expecting the instant R, but not the case there. Doesn't have the parry to use. Ends up under turret. Killed again. Oh, the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Same thing over and over again. Stop queuing in front of him on turret.
I gotta say, Licorice is really fast with those path thinkers, though. He is doing it insta, and he's just doing a quick tap on the W. He's not trying to actually go for those Q3s, where the Fiora can always riposte it, can always react to it. But Rich has gotta respect this.
Well, and the thing, too, is with the lunge distance, you don't always need to end up on top of his
trouble
body.
Here, we'll see. Wow, they didn't even look for it. Jensen had ult. I thought they were gonna go for it.
Respecting the flash of Gori maybe a little bit too much there. He did have that up, but thought maybe the collapse would come in. They'd end up under turret after a flash. And this is sometimes the concern when you end up on the back foot is you start worrying about your plays too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you just kind of want it too much. When you're playing Fiora, you're pushing in the Ksante. You want to be able to push the pace. You want to harass him, which does require looking for those aggressive Qs. But you've got to also give respect to your opponent. Licorice is more than equal to the task, can punish you. It's back-to-back solo kills here, on the side of Licorice, who's the one who got counter-picked. Is not going to look for the Q3, unless he's out of range. You don't want to give him that free riposte into the ulti, but Rich has no ulti right now. Stixxay farming plates on bot side. Everything looking incredible for Golden Guardians right now, and the pressure is absolutely mounting on Dignitas.
Yeah, for Golden Guardians, the positive side for this is that you had a pretty disappointing series versus NRG. You had your best regular season ever, finally breaking the 10-win curse, the fact that they had never ended a regular season with more wins than losses.
Uh-oh.
Does have a ward.
Yeah. It's okay.
Has flash up.
Go ahead.
Okay. For Golden Guardians, to then lose your first playoff series as the favorite was a big disappointment.
All right, Rich playing with fire, stayed around too long, and now he's in trouble. He's on the run, but the parry and the flash comes through. Licorice with the Q3, flash to follow. He's gonna go all out, and Rich, we've seen this one before. He's dead in top lane again. This Fiora is just food, and Licorice is looking hungry.
They are feasting on him. They're trying to make a play on the flip side of the map. Santorin has hovered down there, but Huhi has made it back to lane in time to make this basically impossible to punish the weak side of the map for Golden Guardians. Oh boy. Feels rough for them because not only just the individual matchup, but what we were saying about how the composition wants to function, where the split pushing Fiora puts pressure on the poke comp to not be able to sit around as long. But with him falling this far behind, there's realistically not going to be any side lane pressure this game.
It's also supposed to be your solo physical damage threat, right? To actually, put on that threat to dissuade them from just building MR. But if you're a 0-3, you're fine building a X Drinker. Who cares if you feel like you need it for Tomo and Jensen. Santorin down here again, trying to see if he can force. River is hovering, though. He's coming through River. And we'll see. Huhi in some trouble. Nice buffer. It's a flash forward. It's going to catch Stixxay as he shifts back, and Huhi's already gone. The flash out from Stixxay will be there. River, though, he's got to run, I think. I don't know if they can actually take this. He's going to Bramble Smash Poome back in, and Stixxay will get one back. So it is traded at the end of the day, 1-for-1. But Dignitas at least staying aggressive on that bottom side.
Oh, Jensen getting aggressive now.
Nice swoop back into the tower, but it is a flash over, and Gori trying to finish him off. Jensen's got to dodge the shock blast if it's even off cooldown. Doesn't look like it is just yet. Jensen very, very low. Doesn't want to give up the wave. Has TP. Nice sidestep. And
Gori's
should be enough.
Looking for hammer form. You can see him with the speed up. Not able to find the angle there. I like that bot lane play, how it was played by both teams. Dignitas getting really aggressive and blowing Huhi up before he had time to stall that out and give the Maokai collapse an angle.
Yeah, it was a really good engage from Poome. You know, went beyond where the Ezreal was, so caught both Huhi and Poome. And now Poome here towards mid. Hui's there as well, and Huhi is 6 with the ulti, so Jensen does have to be respectful here. Could get caught, will shift back, and I think this is the last wave he needed, so catch this minion, and then we'll back it up as Huhi fishes with the Hex Splash, but we'll catch nothing but air.
Trying to lollipop him. Here's this play like you were talking about. I like the angle that Poome took here, having a much better time
really
engaging, landing both with that storm to pull them in. They get that initial kill. Stixxay is able to flash out. But then River here, I like getting onto Poome and pushing him back in the turret to make sure that even though he is very far forward, but he was far enough up in lane to not actually have any threat of going down. So a 1-for-1 to equalize that. Doesn't actually disrupt the game at all. During that time though, they got a Rift Rope.
They can get this tower down pretty low here. Gonna be more gold in the pockets of Tomo, who's having a good game. You know, Tomo is just about even in farm, has a kill, has an assist. They just got 3 plates. Of course, it was split, but still, Tomo will be that hope, I think, right now that you're looking towards for Dignitas. They're gonna continue playing around this Kaisa, try to accelerate his game, get him to those 3 items, and see if he can make some magic happen.
He is somewhat the unsung member on Dignitas, a lot more focused just due to the history.
Sing for him, Mark.
I will not. I will not sing for him, but I will potentially start the tune by mentioning the fact that when they win a lot of their games, it's actually him who has stepped up on an Aphelios performance or a Kaisa performance like this. And, you know, Rich is playing the LPL, Santorin and Jensen are so storied, Poome we've seen come and go in the LCS, and there's this debate about, oh, was Diamond better or whatnot, but Tomo has silently been one of the important players in their actual wins, that he does have good performances. Sometimes he struggles, but this game looks like it's going to be on him to save Dignitas this season.
Rough. It does have to blow the flash there as he gets pushed back. You may not be singing the tune, but you're dropping the beat for someone else, you know? You're getting it going, you're warming them up.
I'm also tone deaf, so maybe don't listen to my music.
No, I mean, I think Silver Scrapes was one of the performances of all time.
It was one.
It was one of the performances of all time, absolutely.
And I did sing on a stage in front of tens of thousands of people.
You did that. Not a lot of people can say that. That's pretty cool.
And you just don't ever play the audio of what I'm doing.
I think the audio was great. It was definitely something special.
It was special. You've never seen it before or since.
I have, actually.
Oh, no.
I've watched that every once in a while. You know, sometimes you think about it, you're like, I could use a little bit of a smile here, you know? Watch that up. It's great. Some high-quality content. As Golden Guardian, Stixxay is going to get caught. Ooh. Tomo had the read on him, and Stixxay trying to get out of there, has no flash. He's in trouble. They can chase him down. It's another kill, and what a read by Tomo.
Yeah, absolutely stepping up like we asked him to do. Lands that W. And this is one of the things we talk about, why we're surprised people pick Ezreal into the Kaisa, is because that is something you're under threat if the Kaisa gets ahead.
Santorin is behind, and Huhi has to get out of there, is going to hook to the wall. There's the ulti in defense, but Huhi's got nowhere to go. He's got no flash. It's another kill for Tomo, and all of a sudden, the Dignitas fans sitting up and taking notice, but now a play towards mid lane, flash in. Jensen's got nowhere to go. Knocked down by River, but the tower will fall on the bottom side. All of a sudden, 3 kills for Tomo. I have to wonder, did that pink ward in the first brush spot Stixxay walking into the second brush, or was that a pure read? I really am curious.
It looks like he knows where he has to be from where he's not. There's enough vision coverage to know he's somewhere in this. Oh, they do see him right there. Okay, there you go. So, yeah, easy snipe here from Tomo to land this one. Kind of waiting a little bit, it feels like, until his team is in position. Don't interrupt it too soon. Catch him in the shop, hopefully. Stixxay did react quickly, but, you know, Ezreal's shift is not enough to get rid of a Kaisa who ults on top of you and then has your E follow speed, and you can just hunt Ezreal's in the mid to late game if you get ahead.
And even a little thing, but Tomo ulted past him, not to him.
Pick the side where you want to go.
Exactly. He's going where he has to go, so when he shifts, he just shifts from one side of Tomo to the other, and Tomo's still in range, still getting those autos in, is able to chase him down and get that kill. Jensen has a second death here, has that crown completed, trying to keep up in farm. Golden Guardians 1.5k gold lead, looking to move up towards this second herald. They already have 2 dragons to their name. Santorin will be forced back against the wall. I don't really think you can fight this, though. I mean, yeah, Tomo is pretty rich, but Rich is really poor. And I think it's going to be tough for them to actually get that Fiora involved whatsoever. And Kaisa doesn't have multiple items yet, so I don't really think it matters. I feel like they can't challenge.
Yeah, Jensen's just looks like he's going to stay down the bot side, keep farming up. Doesn't have his teleport to collapse, so even though it was a 4v4, not really something they're going to look for. Like you said, Tomo on an item and a half. Rich does have his Sunderer done, so he could potentially grab it, but I don't know. Still feels like a very hard fight right now. A lot of people talk about with Kaisa, especially this build where you're going that kind of poke AP, you're really looking for third item. Yeah. Once you have your Ludens done, once you have you know, your Nashers as well as that static shift, you become an absolute beast. And I think from Dignitas' perspective, it's all on Tomo right now, so don't start fighting until he's ready.
And at the very least, you need your W upgrade for the poke to really ramp up. Right. You don't need the full Ludens, but you can get that upgrade. Some people also do like Liandry's. Again, you know, similar thing that we talked about before, you know, with the Xerath thought process. Can be kind of higher DPS, lower burst, but it doesn't really matter. Some people still go Rage Blade, but I feel like that has kind of fallen out of popularity unless it's an overwhelming amount of frontline. And to be fair, there is 3 melee champs on the other side, so it's a possibility. It is worth noting as well that River is going back towards the Liandry's here again, and with this tower getting pretty low, Huhi looking to potentially threaten something, but we'll just have heading down towards bot to maybe help Licorice get that first tower.
Yeah, this poke on the side of Golden Guardians, very annoying, pushing Dignitas back, almost taking that turret. Will be able to fall back to the Dragon in 50 seconds after making a rotation down to this bot side. Very nice map control out of Golden Guardians to set up their next objective, this bot lane turret, and forcing Rich back so Licorice can grab it for free. Yeah,
I really like that, right? They see that there's not any dive to make happen at that mid-tier 1, so instead of posturing around there, wasting his time, Huhi just walks down through bot side jungle, gets the vision established, they can make that rotation safely, they can push back Rich and secure another turret. They grab that first tower down in bot lane. Second, of course, overall. Mid lane tier 1 is incredibly low, so they can continue poking and prodding here as well.
Yeah, I like Dignitas kind of being in the mindset that you're in trade mode to just kind of accelerate gold into your carries. That bot Gori's teleport up to the top side, but it was a little bit mistimed. So Jensen, even though it was on the roam down with TP advantage, he could have stayed top, going for the play.
Gori's going to be shuffled back in, and Tomo is there. Gori's in trouble. He's going to flash, but it's wasted because Tomo's got the killer instinct this game. 4 out of 5 of his team's kills.
Jensen moving into the support position, feeding his AD carry. Tomo, the young gun, the focus for Dignitas, knowing all the cards are in his hands.
The future is now, old man. It's time to buy redemption. It's time to learn support, Jensen.
Shuffle them to me. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make this play happen. Golden Guardian's still staying around, and Gori has no TP. Poome will knock Licorice back, but Licorice already has 2 fully completed items. Golden Guardians are posturing like they at least want to try to fight for this, and there's not confidence from Rich to move forward for anything themselves. They're going to try to go in a River, but at the same time, Poome getting burst down. Poome will fall. Can Dignitas chase for more? River is down. They got the Dragon. They got one, but it's going to be Licorice going all out, looking for Rich once more, flashing away, but only to die. Licorice reigns supreme in the top lane.
Oh, 1 for 1 there. Excuse me, 2 for 1 in the end for Golden Guardians, plus having Prio in the mid lane means they'll be able to grab this turret. Still not too bad for Dignitas. The fact they stopped the Dragon stacking out of Golden Guardians. Their poke composition, being able to get the soul quickly with the Ocean, answers the Tomo poke potentially a little bit, and this most importantly just stops Soul and the game plan from advancing, buying more time for them to keep scaling up.
Yeah, I mean, you are really hoping you're going to buy a lot of time for Rich. At the end of the day, the problem is you basically lost a 4v5, right? You know, Gori was already dead, and they did, you know, play it out fairly well. They got the Dragon, but it's still concerning.
It's definitely concerning. They get this kill, they get the Dragon. Just a little bit of an overchase here as Rich just ends up once again next to Licorice, who flips him back, beats him up, takes his lunch money, and goes home.
And Licorice is literally just Super Saiyan now. Like, he has just gone crazy since spring playoffs.
It is Licorice versus Tomo, it feels like, this game. And I will usually take the Ksante side, especially when you're paired up with a 4-1 and 3 Maokai. Like you said, going that Liandry's again does put a lot of pressure on Tomo to execute extremely well to win this game.
Well, I think realistically, the biggest problem is, you know, you could say Licorice versus Tomo, but look where Rich is and look where Stixxay is, right? You know, Stixxay is way more useful than what Rich is going to be in this game, and that is the biggest problem, is that, you know, Tomo may be able to compete and may be able to get things happen, but I don't see how Rich is going to have much of a positive involvement in this game.
You ult the person who's going to die anyways to make a healing zone, and that is your contribution in team fights. I mean, is try to heal Tomo with your ultimate.
You could, unironically, maybe you do just try to kill frontline, because you can't dive backline and threaten them with when you're this far behind. You're just going to get slapped around by the Jayce and by the Ezreal. You know, maybe if they can really make this game go late, then he can get enough items that he can start to be as a bit of a side lane threat, but that is so far off when you're an entire item down on the
Alternatively, just start buying support items. They're way cheaper. Get a, Ardent Sensor.
We're going to see another engage here on Gori. Gori is dead, but it's the response coming in through from Licorice and Dignitas. If they can kill him, maybe they can go Baron. It's Licorice going all out. Nice job dodging the Magnet Storm there from Poome. That was a critical moment. If Licorice dies, I think Doug starts Baron for sure.
Yeah, that was huge. They did get the TP out, so still a nice play. It does cost the ultimate out of Poome to not quite find that kill, but it did get them some more resources to pick off as well. Getting the kill, another one into Tomo's back pocket.
It is Tomo going Rage Blade. I did touch on it. There is 3 melee champs on the other team. They need someone to be able to deal with Licorice, so that is going to be the call here. But again, they get a pick, and it seems like it is Golden Guardians who have the push here, and Poome is stepping very far forward. That turret has no health, buddy. He's going down in a hurry, and Golden Guardians can continue the push now. Yes, they do take a tower up on top side, but Golden Guardians might be the ones starting Baron after all, as it's Santorin running for the hills, but Gori is here, and Santorin is gone. You're losing the base. Dignitas falling apart all at the same time. Rich popping the ulti on the river, but he's got nothing. Golden Guardians get the kills, get the towers, and they're gonna get the Baron.
The game plan falls apart from Dignitas. 2 sides of the map at once. The people splitting top get collapsed on by the reviving Gori, and in mid lane, like you said, Poome not paying enough attention to the turret dropping, ends up dying there, and that means all 5 members of Golden Guardians are not only alive, but converging onto the Baron. Easy pickup after getting those kills.
I mean, they're just not even giving Tomo a chance to carry, right? It's falling apart around him. They've got to play safe. They've got to respect the fact that Golden Guardians are way ahead besides what your AD has. This is after the kills in mid lane. Santorin up towards top side. He's an easy kill as Gori is TP'd in. Then Rich trying to make something happen, but he's just going to be knocked back.
Yeah, too many knockbacks. You have the Bramble Smash, the Jayce Hammer Form E, just way too hard to play the Fiora there from behind, like you're saying. And it's such a sad state for Dignitas, because with how fed Tomo is, if things had just gone slightly better on other parts of the map, you have a very coherent composition where, Rich is splitting top, you have Kaisa poking around the other 4, you're both kind of standing off there, but Rich has just been so vulnerable.
Gori now looking for a chase down on Rich, and Rich, I think we're going to see him die again, potentially. Nice hook comes in from Huhi. The parry was there, but it doesn't even matter, potentially. It does at the end of the day, as he's going to be able to walk out. The Ignite on his back won't burn him down. But the thing that has killed me for this one is Dignitas, makes a good play, but then they make an unforced error to follow it up, and they kind of give away the edges that they're building.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be a kill for sure. If Huhi just had his ultimate up, it was coming right off cooldown, did not have it in time to follow up with the hook. And yeah, you get out alive, but you meet up with the minion wave there. Golden Guardians cracks that one, and now they're set up for pushing mid lane because they have done so much work already at the same time. It's so hard to defend this top turret when you have minions in your base.
And Rich can't even answer Licorice in the 1v1. Licorice is so far ahead. Matchups be damned. He's just better today, forcing in on that inhibitor. Golden Guardians have 4 marching up through top lane, looking to knock down this inhibitor tower. The Nature's Grass gonna get popped there by River, trying to buy some space, and they're in onto Poome. Licorice is there as well, but it's Poome counter engage over the wall, but there's no follow-up, and it's Licorice in the back line trying to make it happen on Tomo. Tomo put low, cannot knock down River, no kills on either side. But Golden Guardians, they're healthy, and they're coming for these inhibitors as Huhi steps up. Santorin trying to defend, but maybe shouldn't have done that. Rich barely able to actually block that Mystic shot from Stixxay. Keeps his jungler alive, but it's double inhib here. And Golden Guardians can retreat back towards the dragon.
Dignitas staying alive by the skin of their teeth, just not quite clean enough by Golden Guardians to find a kill onto Tomo when they wanted to him. And then you saw a clever flash by Huhi there trying to get in front of Santorin's Q Arctic Assault. Didn't have quite enough range, so Santorin got out. If they were able to kill just 1 or 2 more people, Golden Guardians could have potentially ended the game. Not quite the case, but still immensely ahead. 7,000 gold, 2 inhibitors cracked.
And we are now 1 fight away from Dignitas' season ending here. It's a 7K lead, and Dignitas are posturing like they want to contest to the dragon, but if you die here comes the TP, and this could be it right now. Licorice with a deep, deep flank. Does Dignitas have the eyes on him? Now they do. Jensen in trouble, though. Pathmaker comes through. He's going to shuffle him back, trying to create some space, but Rich is in trouble. He's on the run, flashing over the wall. Poome trying to get out of there as well, but here comes Licorice. Golden Guardians piling in another flash to try to get away, but River into the back line. It's a twisted advance. It's multiple members falling. It's a triple kill for Gori. It's all over for Dignitas. Golden Guardians will keep their hopes alive for the LCS Championship as Gori snipes the quadra kill. Golden Guardians wipe Dignitas off the map and will advance on in playoffs. They have a shot at Worlds, and they have a shot at the title.
A 3-0 out of Golden Guardians. Absolute domination in Game 2 and Game 3 to end Jensen's highest consecutive Worlds appearance and keep Huhi's 5th straight Finals appearance alive and have a date with Team Liquid on Sunday.
3-0 for Golden Guardians. Dignitas made them work for it a bit, but it was a massive gap between these two teams today. Golden Guardians' massive bounce-back series. The number 2 seed will advance.
Golden Guardians playing with their food a bit there, but a 3-0 quick Friday series here. Gonna be able to have plenty of time to rest and recuperate to play Team Liquid on Sunday. Keeping, like we said, the finals appearance live. With this win, they are qualified for international competition at least. Even if they lose on Sunday, they will then be playing the 4th place qualifier match against Europe's 4th seed for the final World spot. If they beat Team Liquid on Sunday, they are straight into Worlds and straight to New Jersey.
Yeah, both those teams, at the very least, will get that.